What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is, baby. You either get right or you get left. You in the birdcage. So before we go ahead and get this show started for you and bring in a Falcon player and Clemson legend and Duval County legend, matter of fact, before we get this show started, go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button. We definitely got a hot one for you. You don't want to miss it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. We got you covered, baby. It's the birdcage. You either get right or you get left.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? You either get right or you get left. You're in the birdcage with your boy, the historian. And we also got a special guest coming in here. But before we bring the special guests in, we're going to go ahead and bring in the magnificent birdcage crew that's going to be consisted of the OGs tonight, the cats that we've been rocking since forever. So, first off, we're going to bring in K Dub, and now we got Graybeard. What's going on, fellas?
It's good to be in the building tonight with Great Beard himself and Mr. Historian, the ambassador and gateway to the key to the city. So it's good to be in the building for this interview tonight. I'm ready to get into it, fellas. Let's go.
Man, we got a hot one in here, man. We got a Duval County. But hold on, let me do it right, man, because I went to high school down there. You know, I'm an Atlanta boy, but you know, I was adopted around there, so I got to say it one time. Duval. So you know what it is, baby. I got to bring in Mr. Jamaal Fudge. What's going on, baby?
What it is, Duval.
There it is. There it is.
Hey, man, I got you. Hey, look, you know what? Now, see,
Get
now
in
I'm a
here.
north side. You know, like I said, I'm from Ben Hill in Atlanta, but when I moved to Jacksonville, I was on the north side. So I'm a north side boy when I'm in Duval. Everybody know I was supposed to go to Revolt, but ended up going to Sandalwood. But you know, y'all's high school is the carbon copy of ours. But you know, we gonna let that slide though. But
we in the car. We proud of the West Side, baby.
But you know, they all had every school built exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta keep it simple, you know.
Yeah. But man, welcome to the building, man. This is Duval County royalty right here. One of the best players that come up out of the city as well, because it's been a lineage of great players to come out of the city. This is one of them right now that we have here, Mr. Jamaal Fudge. So, man, what's going on, man? Thank you for dropping by the cage, man. It took long enough to get you in here, but now we got you. What's up?
He here, man. He here.
Hey, happy birdcage, man.
He here, man. He here.
Building, baby. You in the now you official. You weren't official before you came on.
You're
official now.
Look, now you can say you're a birdcage veteran, dog. So you know
Okay.
We enough.
But you got family that's then come up in here already before.
You're
And
right.
that was when we were in our infancy stages. So shout out to James Collins, FSU hoops legend that joined us in the way beginning of this show. This is one of his family members, his little brother. So y'all just got athletic talent all through the family, man. Just something in the water, dog.
Yeah, we got a nice little bloodline. My little nephew, Nicholas Kirkpatrick, just graduated from Reigns today. He'll be going to college on a football scholarship. So we continue to do our thing in the family.
So what school is he going to?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Oh, he's keeping it
Long as it's
quiet.
not Alabama. Long as it's not Alabama.
No, long as he
No,
ain't.
that
Wait a
ain't-
minute, hold up.
It
Long
ain't-
as he
it
ain't a
ain't Bama.
Gator.
Yeah, definitely a Gator.
Yeah, long as he ain't a Gator. And shout out to Demetrius Webb because we know you watching, dog. You another Ed White legend, but you a Gator, so ain't no love on that part. But you coming up out the city is much love, man. You definitely was a damn good ball player too. But speaking of ball players, let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. So Jacksonville, Florida, grew up. Your big brother was literally a hoops legend in the city before he even went to high school.
Yeah,
Middle
school legend.
How do you get a middle school kid to have a press conference saying, I'm taking my talents to Jackson High School? Like a middle school kid. And this is before LeBron made the announcement, way before LeBron made the announcement.
Definitely. Yeah. So hey, when you that guy, man, you can hey, you got all the cards. Hey, make all the moves.
And he had his own segment, but we had to shout that out. But for you to come through that, having him as an older brother, and you watched the process of him handling local success around the city before he got up to the collegiate level, and you saw the type of work that he put in. How did that motivate you, and what got you started in football when you were a young guy?
Man, when I first walked into his room and just seen medals, trophies, just the whole room was filled with just trophies, medals, and the only thing he had was trophies, medals in the bed. Like he had no room for nothing else. So just seeing that, man, that was just motivation. I just wanted the basketball. I didn't know what type of work he was putting in. I just see all these trophies, like, hey man, I just want, So just having an older brother doing that, So my thing, being a little shorter guy, I know basketball was my forte. So I was a baseball guy. Started off. I didn't play football until I was about 11. But once I picked up the football, I ain't looked back.
Okay. Now, with you going through the process of the matriculations of what rec parks did you play at and get to that skill set before you got to Ed White High School?
I was a PAL guy. I was a PAL guy. So started
y'all. Hated y'all during police athletic league kids.
Hey, we was organized, we was disciplined. So, stayed in the PAL league, for about 5-6 years doing baseball and football, also basketball as well. And we had to move, so I ventured into, Part Warner system. And my cousin, he went to Robert E. Lee. So he was the coach at the time, but he always had me play up. So I'm 11 playing with the 13-year-olds. So man, it was a great experience. That I think that really jump-started, my football talents, and just playing with older guys, it made me better. So once I got, on grade level guys, my skill set, I was already a step ahead.
Okay, I got one more question I got for you, and I'm gonna let my guys take over. Now, you had a celebrated career in the city of Jacksonville. That's nothing to sneeze at, because if anybody knows all the talent that just comes out of that city alone, when you talk about football, that is a hotbed for talent, and it still is a major hotbed for talent. But during the time you came up in the city, it was you, D. Webb, Leon Washington, for the Jets fans that's watching on here. If y'all remember who Leon Washington is, it was a bad boy. And then you had, I say this without me throwing. I'm about to throw up saying
I already
this
know
because you had Ciatric phasing. First off, he went to Fletcher High School. I still to this day despise Fletcher High School. I would spit on the logo if I saw it. That's how much hate I got for Fletcher.
Hey man, get it out your heart.
That's a bit much, man.
I understand. I got some scars on my body from that damn rivalry. Don't do that. I still can't stand Fletcher. But and then he went to Florida on top of that with D Weld. So that made it even worse. But Seattle, UD, my boy Ben Ballard, shout out to Ben, Bethune-Cookman, played with Eric Weems down there, by the way. You look at all the talent that came out of the city, and there's so much more that I could keep naming, but during that time, you guys had one of the most elite classes to come out because practically all y'all went D1, and half of y'all played in the NFL. Majority of y'all played in the NFL.
Yeah, man, like I said,
Go ahead.
Yeah, around the early 2000, like I said, man, it was loaded just from the surrounding counties alone. Like I said, because I played on the Florida versus Cali team, and man, on my team, I had Cafonzo Thorpe, Adrian McPherson, Sean Taylor, Willie Green played at Florida State, man. Chris Gamble, man, it was just a load of talent. And we played Cali team with Mercedes Lewis, Matt Liner, and those guys back then. So, man, like I say, coming up during that time, man, you had to be a dog. Also, Frank Gore came out around that time as well.
Yep. Because before I blew out my knee, like I told you about, Miami sent me a letter. I got to meet, God rest his soul, Sean Taylor. And Sean was one of the nicest guys. Quiet, but real nice and real humble. But everybody know when you seen that dude on the field, and let's just be real. He got snubbed out of Mr. Florida football. You even know that. They gave that to Rashad Dudley. Dudley didn't do a darn thing when he went to college. And he punished Dudley in that state championship game.
Hey, man, he was a one-man show by himself.
Exactly. But getting off that though, you came up through the ranks, and when you talk about that gauntlet, because like I said, I had cousins that played in Georgia. I was supposed to go to high school in Atlanta, and I got so much respect for all the talent that came out of Georgia. But you slid into Clemson with one of Georgia's best running backs, and Mr. James Davis.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let my guy K-Dub take over on this one here.
Oh man, you can expound on some of your Clemson days leading up to your being undrafted and coming to the league. I think our listeners and subscribers and followers would like to hear about that time, and then just going into slowly into your career, man. Just where you want. I'm gonna let you talk because it's giving your flowers, and letting us people hear how you did it and exactly how it felt to be snubbed during the draft, having to come through the undrafted ranks. Then coming over to the ATL and being a part of 2 back-to-back winning seasons. Just expound on that for me.
Yeah, just coming out of high school, I'm gonna start there. Only being recruited by 3 schools: Arkansas, Indiana, and Clemson. That was just a shot in the face. And just always been an underdog, man. I remember I was in the weight room benching in high school. In high school, coach gonna kind of blow your stats. So yeah, he 6 foot, 180. Actually, he 5'10", 5'9", whatever. So the Ohio State recruiter came up off the bench. Hey man, stand up. Like, man, you ain't no 6 foot. All right, go on about your business. I was like, oh.
Ooh, boy, that's why I can't stand Ohio State.
You got a standard that they stick to. Like, it's like if you ain't this measurement, we don't even care about you. I was like, oh man. So not being recruited by certain schools, grew up a Florida State fan, and them not wanting me. I was like, I'm gonna go somewhere that I can beat them. Man, once I went to Clemson, seeing that it was an easy drive for my family to get to, ran down that hill, man. I think that solidified it, to be honest. Like, growing up, I ain't know nothing about Clemson, but once I got there, I just ran down that hill and just started looking at the list of players who came through there. Man, it just, then to see so many Jacksonville guys go there too, who had success there: Brian Dawkins, Rod Gardner. You had the Kevin Youngbloods come through there, and man, just having familiarity in Clemson, man, that made the choice easy. And once I got there, I started off as a corner, but guys come, they go. So I had to move to safety.
Yes, Lord.
That was one of the best decisions I could have made because I had Justin Miller and Ty Hill, guys running 4.3-4.2s at corner. I couldn't compete with that, a 5'9". So
okay,
I made I knew the business move.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, get
you
in where you
followed
fit
it.
in.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yes. So moving to safety was a great decision. I led the team in picks 3 years in a row. I think my redshirt sophomore year, I finished the year with like 120 tackles. Had 3 games with about 15 plus tackles. I set a record versus UVA. Had 20 tackles versus UVA back when Matt Schaub, Heath Miller, the Brick Shaw
Mhm.
Ferguson. That man, they were loaded back then. So,
Mm.
after that, voted team captain. Guy don't say much, but when them pads go on, they know Candyman, that Silent Assassin, he about his business. If
Oh,
somebody finna
okay.
get smacked, we finna set the tone, and they know what time it is. But then when the draft came around, man, just seeing what my stats compared to other guys' stats, I knew I had the stats, but NFL is all about measurables. So if you don't meet those measurables, but you still got a production, you're gonna take a hit regardless. And I'm not a speed guy, so that was already a knock against me. But just having a guy worked me out in Jacksonville, Al Reynolds, who showed genuine interest, and with them having an older defense in Jacksonville and being a hometown, it made an easier decision. You got Deion Grant and Donovan Darius, two guys who
No, Grant.
long-term veterans who've been in
Mhm.
the game. You're gonna get those reps, and they're gonna have those veteran days off where they ain't gonna do nothing. They just gonna warm up and they gonna chill. Hey,
Mhm.
rookie, it's your turn. So that was a great experience to get those reps from those guys, pick their brains. So when it's my turn, hey man, they just really helped me out to grow and develop. And then once I got released from Jacksonville, I was very fortunate. That same defensive staff from Jacksonville, Mike Smith became the head coach. Alvin Reynolds became a defensive backs coach. So when I got released, man, that was the grace of God. Mike Smith brought me in, allowed me to be vested,
Mhm.
and to be a part of that, back to back winning season of the Falcons. Witnessing Matt Ryan throw his first touchdown pass on his first pass of his career. You know,
Okay.
that slant to Michael Jenkins against the Chiefs. You couldn't have scripted that any better. You know, with the city, just going through the Vic situation and Matt Ryan step in. I mean, once that happened, I think the city felt real good about the direction of the team. Once they saw that happen.
Mhm.
You named all look, you if you notice, you named all those damn Reigns boys over there. Now look, I was supposed to go
They
to
was
I was
putting them
hold
out.
on. They that's a factory right there. That's listen, they got 2 Hall of Famers out of that school already.
But they got
Ryan
3.
Dawkins is one, and you got the legendary Harold Carmichael that went to the Southern University. Got to make sure I put that out there. Shout out to SU, you know. But you named, like, just be honest, man. You look at it, it's boys that played all around the city, but Reigns is just, even now. Solomon Kinley was one of the last first round picks that they had that came out of Georgia.
Yeah.
And you look at it, it's like, Jesus, what are they putting in the water over there at William M. Reigns? You know, it's just athletes, man. They just breed them over there.
Yeah, man. They got legacy over there, man. That's when you got legacy and history, guys are gonna flock there. Family is gonna, feed their family into that school because it was a
Mhm.
good school to them. Hey, so I think it would be great for my family. So they got that system, man. It's working for them.
It's more of a family environment over there. You know, if you ever, like, anybody that's ever been to the Northwest Classic, if you've ever been to Jacksonville, Reigns Reebok, that is the equivalent to the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons rivalry.
Mm.
That's how deep that goes. And that is a nasty rivalry. Even though they're friends, but it's during the game. Let's just say I've seen parents get in some fist fights in the stands. I just leave it like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
moving on to my bad gray beard. What you got, Ray?
To be funny, my cousin getting ready to attend there. He about to be a freshman there.
At Rains High School?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be playing ball?
I don't know. He hasn't decided yet. I'm like, man, look, man, you better be ready. I'm going,
Well, let
hey,
him. Well, if
It's
he
a different
plays over there,
environment over there.
he's gonna be playing for my cousin Donovan Maslin. So if he plays there, that's Maz played at Reigns, went to Alabama State, had a great career as a corner, came back, and now he's the head coach. And he's had those boys in the playoffs and state championships
right.
recently, through his success. And he's a young coach. He's under 40, by the way.
Yeah.
So what you
So,
got for so what you got, Graybeard?
hey, first of all, man, to honor just to meet you, man. And one of my questions is, man, I know you got so many memory, you got Clemson. What is that one game that stands out more than ever? I was gonna say that mine when y'all played Miami, because that was like a freaking dogfight.
Yeah,
But
that was tough one though.
but do you have any other games that could have matched that or surpassed that?
I have a few. I would say that 2000, I want to say 3 year that Bowden Bowl.
Who?
Coach Bow was on the hot seat. In Florida State, man, they was rolling. I think the week before they had just beat Notre Dame, put up like 500 yards of total
Yeah.
offense. And then, man, they came in to the Valley and from my eyes, they look very vanilla. You know, it wasn't what they showed on TV versus Notre Dame the previous week. You know,
Yeah.
so seemed a little suspicious at the time. But nonetheless, man, got to get that victory, just that atmosphere. Like I said, that Miami game, I think it was double or triple overtime.
I watched that game. I watched that game. I was like, God.
Back and forth, man, and just the energy of the fans. But my best game, I would say, my senior year, we played at Georgia Tech. Reggie Ball was quarterback. Had Calvin Johnson was his sophomore year.
Reggie Ball.
Yeah, his freshman year, Calvin had his coming out party versus us, in Death Valley.
Whew.
So my senior year, we had some get back. I remember, my senior had a 3rd and 1. They handed the ball to Choice. Man, I just came down here, smacked them, dude, just buckled, man. And then also, like, later in that game, Reggie Ball, he was just known for just dropping back, just trying to throw it up to Calvin.
Yeah.
And once he did that, we had a safety, Mike Hammer got a pick, and I just saw red. I seen Calvin come. When you get a pick, you got to block back on the receiver. I had my sights set. Once I hit him, knocked his helmet off, and you can see Ty here, he just stopped in the middle of the play and just turned around while the ball's still going. But, man, we ended up losing that game 10-9, man. But, that was a great memory, to have, just to be able to do that versus Megatron, something I always cherish in the memory books.
What's up, man?
Man,
you one of the few people that's done put a lick on him like that.
Yeah.
Not many people it's only 2 people I've seen do that, and these 2 can attest for one of them. Rest in peace to the late great Paul Oliver, who played at Georgia. That was the only other guy that I've seen lock up Calvin Johnson and actually hit him like he owed him some money.
Yeah.
You're the other one. Not many people got shots off on that boy like that.
You're right.
That was a full-grown man playing with little boys, pretty much.
From the day he stepped on the field.
Then retire early on, full of Barry Sanders. I'm done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, for me, I got just one more question. So when you're getting ready to transition to the NFL, you didn't get invited to the combine, did you?
Nah, no combine, man. No go to a team workout. We just had 2 teams came and worked me out, and that was it. Chicago and Jacksonville.
Right.
And you avoided the Midwest because you didn't want to go to Indiana. You said that cold messed you up. So you would have been right back in there if Chicago would have got you.
I mean, but that was the NFL. Then you get paid for it then.
But hold on. But just think about it. Yeah, you're right. But think about it. Wait a minute. You're a Florida boy, Duval County boy, going up into some of the most disrespectful cold there is in the country. Now, I still say New England is the worst because I lived in it for a year and a half, and I've been in Chicago, and I'll take Chicago cold over New England cold all day.
New York,
that's
man.
Awful.
New York is a different breed, man.
Well, you gotta remember New York is right, but you gotta remember New York is below that New England area. That's why I say, What drum when you was at, you can have it.
Cold is cold.
True.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Cold is damn cold.
Hey, it's different in certain regions, boy. That's some disrespectful stuff.
And keep me down south.
When you got people coming from Alaska to go to New York because it's colder in New York, I'm just like, Come on, bro.
You bringing
Come
back
on.
look, you bringing back bad memories now. You remember I was
I
stationed.
was getting that. I was getting that
I was
memory.
stationed in Kodiak, Alaska for 2.5 years. You bringing back bad memories, dog. Don't do that.
And I was stationed at Fort Drum, New York. I'm bringing back bad memories.
At least you had regular sunlight and regular nighttime and daytime. We
2
didn't
weeks.
have it.
Wow. No.
Trust me, it's hard to go to sleep at 12 o'clock at night when you got the damn sun up still.
Touche. You're right about that. Yeah, that would have threw me off completely.
That's why you buy black curtains. But speaking of black curtains, we're gonna black out a little something to get back to these Falcons. Now, your days with the Atlanta Falcons, you got to see Michael Turner and you got to watch Matt Ryan. I want to know, and Falcon fans want to know, what was it like having to cover Roddy White every day, Malcolm Jenkins every day, and Mr. Harry Douglas, Mr. HD? What was that like having to cover those guys in one-on-ones and go through drills with these dudes every day to sharpen your skills or be ready to go if anything might have happened to Thomas Deku or Willie Moe?
Yeah, man, it's just like saying having those guys to compete against every day. You couldn't do nothing but make you better. Like I say, Roddy got speed, power, route running. You know, he can pretty much do it all. Harris in that slot, man, that was one of the toughest guys to cover from the slot that I've ever had to go against. Just the shiftiness, the quickness, and the speed that he got. You know, he was very difficult to guard in that slot. And Jenkins just a big body, man, just hard to get around. You know, and that following year they added Tony Gonzalez, which was, man. if you throw it near him, he catches it. I don't know how.
Y'all got pink. Wait a minute. How many of y'all got pink slips dealing with that joke? Because I know it had to be somebody to get a pink slip because they got beat multiple times by the Hall of Famer.
He really don't beat you. He don't run past you. Just once the ball get near him, his hand's so big, once it hit it, it just sticks. So it's like the route running was on point. Like I say, he wasn't no speed. Just his route's gonna be precise, and the placement of the balls was perfect. So it's just good throw, good catch. I mean, coach like, hey man, make a play. Like, coach, I mean, hey, it's Tony Gonzalez, and you know, hey, sometimes man, you know, just take it with a grain of salt, keep it moving.
I mean, you're gonna have to with a Hall of Famer, but expound on I mean, you know, doing the backdrop of research, expound on your time with the Arena League, because you had better stats in that league than you had in the NFL. So it seems like you enjoyed playing over there in that league.
Oh yeah, man, Arena League was nice. Like just seeing just the speed and quickness of the game, it goes so fast. And man, you can score, man, any kind of way. Like my first year, I played in New Orleans Voodoo. And man, I think I scored 3 times, like a kickoff return, they try the onside kick, you catch it. You know, if you catch the ball, you're on the 5-yard line, you fall into the end zone. It's just so quick, so fast. In my time playing Jacksonville Sharks, man, that was like the livest. Jacksonville has the best arena team, you know, hands down for what I've seen. I mean, I know you still got other teams who probably won more championships, but the atmosphere of the Jacksonville Sharks, man, was hands down the best. With them, it was an 18-game season. I came in halfway. I played 9 games. End up leading the league in forced and called fumbles during that time with only playing 9 games. End up having about 2 or 3 picks as well. Like I say, I just like the speed of the game. You're able to do multiple things. Had a kickoff return as well, but it got called back because the dude was holding, man. But that Arena League, it's a fast-paced game where you can, man, if you can excel. Like you just put in the work, man, you can excel in Arena League.
Okay. All right.
Guys really make a career out of that too, man.
Now you mentioned the Arena League, and you talk about the talent that was there, and you were better than a lot of those guys there. I'm just gonna be honest, you know, knowing what we know. But getting to back to your Jaguar days now, I'm gonna bring this back for some Jaguar fans that are in here because I see a couple of them. Shout out to Coach McGriff, he's in the building. Now I talked to Mike Smith. You know, we had him doing the interview. You know, Mike Smith he's an aloof when it comes to doing any type of media. He stays away from the media, even when he was coaching, and unless he has to. Mike Smith told me when we were talking, he said the smartest football player I had was Jamaal Fudge. He said some of the physical intangibles he didn't have like other guys naturally, but he worked hard. But he said the one thing that separated him was he knew what he was supposed to do and he knew what everybody else was supposed to do. And he processed information. And I told him you were coaching because I passed him your info,
Right.
former player. And he said, it doesn't surprise me that he's a coach now and he's getting ready to impart a lot of knowledge on a lot of young guys. So Coach Smith said you were one of the smartest players, and that's very high praise coming from a guy who has coached on the Super Bowl team with the Ravens, helped win a Super Bowl, has been around the league as not only just as a head coach, but also as an assistant coach, as a position coach. And he was a pretty good linebacker. You go back and look at his Middle Tennessee State days when he was a Blue Raider back in the day. He definitely was, you look at him as a defensive guy, he values guys with intelligence. So that was a compliment that he paid to you. And he said, I honestly knew if anything would have happened to Willie Moe or Thomas Deku, he said, I could have just threw him in there and I had nothing to worry about. So that was what Coach told me off the record about you.
Yeah, man, that was very high praise. But like I say, that all it's a testament to him, having him for 2 years in Jacksonville, and his staff just really breaking things down, making it simple, taking extra time, put in work to kind of get me up to speed, So like I say, when that time came, hey, he knew Fudge was ready. And I appreciate that.
So we're gonna get into some more of your stories. Now, you played with one of my old high school teammates, big brother. You played with Aiken Adele down in Jacksonville. And that was your middle linebacker for a bit. His brother's Harold Adele, who was my teammate at Sanderwood. Whole nother story. That's for another day. But but what was it like being in the locker room with that dude, and then eventually you having to see his little brother playing for the New Orleans Saints, Remy Adele, who came out of Oklahoma, and unfortunately he was a part of that team in 2009 who won a Super Bowl. What was that like seeing one of your old teammates' little brother that you guys were watching in college, because he was at Oklahoma at the time balling, and then he gets drafted by the bagheads or trash bags as we call them. We still look. I know you still can't stand. I know it's two teams you hate: the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints. Those are two teams you still can't stand.
Oh yeah, you right about that, man. You right about that.
What was it like being in the rivalry as a Falcon, even because you were a special teams guy as well, so you got to touch the field?
Oh yeah.
What was it like being a hitman in that rivalry with the Falcons and the Falcons and the Bagheads, and then the Jags and the Titans? What's the difference between those rivalries, and what was the intensity like for you as a player coming down the field being a hitman?
Man, you like you say, when those types of games come around, what they say the coaches get the butt tight, get tight butthole. Like I say, that's what happened. Everybody gets tight. Like say all that talking and all that, it goes out the window because they know the task at hand and how much those rivalry games mean. So starting in Jacksonville, playing against the Titans, and also the Texans in Jacksonville, those are the two teams, that really gave the Jags fits because they never beat the Titans or the Texans. Man, like say with the Texans having Matt Schaub, it just always find a way. Andre Johnson always find a way to do it to the Jags, and you got the Titans, coming right back when they had McNair and Kevin Dyson and all those guys. It's always been a struggle for the Jags, when it came to Tennessee Titans. But when I got there in 2006, Jack Del Rio, Mike Peterson, and those guys, man, going against the Titans, even though they had the Vince Youngs and guys like that, man, just having the defense we had with Mike Peterson, John Henderson, Marcus Stroud, Donovan Darius, Rasheed Mathis, Terry Cousins, man, it was Darryl Smith, man, it was just a joy to play with such a veteran defense who knew how to play ball, man. And then coming to Atlanta, having that same veteran presence with Lloyd Malloy, Eric Coleman, John Abraham, man. That dude need to be in the Hall of Fame, man. Like straight up. I ain't seen a guy like Abraham play defensive end like that, man. He just a freak of nature, man. Just how he does it, man. Just from him doing it in South Carolina and take to the Jets and the Falcons, man. Hey, that dude, that was a baller. But just say having that veteran presence, man, it made it easy beating up on the Saints. Drew Brees, guys, made it easy running down. Knowing Reggie Bush back there, hey, and he got a target on his back because everybody want to get that hit on Reggie Bush. So you also don't want to get embarrassed by him either.
But Sheldon Brown's gonna have the lifetime hit of the century on Reggie Bush. And I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles for nothing. But that day, I was an Eagles fan for that day when they played against the Bagheads. And they threw that ball out into the flat, and he demolished Reggie Bush. I will never forget that.
He welcomed him to the NFL.
Reggie must have missed the block during practice, and Drew got a little payback.
Nah, he ain't miss it. Drew put it on the money. It was just a straight line, D-line shot.
Drew set him up.
Yeah, he cut him up for failure.
Yeah. And Sheldon, one thing about Sheldon Brown, he was a physical corner or whatnot. And if anybody don't know much about him, Reggie Bush wasn't the only person that he toe tagged like that either.
He just welcomed him to the NFL. That's all he did.
Yeah, that's all.
And so you talk about that intensity, and you enjoyed those back-to-back winning seasons. What was Matt Ryan like competing against him in practice? Because everybody knows, oh yeah, well, we didn't play well. I didn't do this, da 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 da. But then you go back to the Monday night game when you hear him say, "Get in set." You hear him cussing that. You hear him cussing over there around Julio and
Muhammad.
My guys, Muhammad Sanu. You hear them cussing at them dudes, and they finally get set. What was he like in practice? Because when practices are open to the fans, it's vanilla. But what was it like seeing this dude in the lab every day, and what was his competitive nature like?
Yeah, he was like just seeing him in person, you don't realize how big Matt Ryan is. Like I played against him in college. He was at Boston College. So you're not realizing how big this guy is in person. Like you see him on TV, but once just seeing these guys in person, to see a legit 6'5" guy, that size, man. But he's cool demeanor, but on the field, man, it's fiery. Like say what you saw in that Monday night game, he was getting in the ass. The guys ain't blocking. They ain't doing it right. He'll get on them, and they pick it up. So it wasn't so much the coaches. He had it. His fiery days where he'll get on them and made everything pick up.
But everybody in the city has a perceived notion of the guy. Now we all, like you said, you came in and you saw what the transition was like during the Vic days, and what it transpired to when Matt came in. Like the sad part about it is now a lot of fans still want to say, "Oh, we call him Pad Stat Ryan. He ain't that good." And I'm like, they trash him, but you win against this man every day. So, ladies and gentlemen who are in here, if you don't like Matt Ryan, it's tough. I got a guy that's in here that competed against him every day. So he got to take reps against him every day. So he's going to speak to you about what was that like going up against him on the defensive side, having to see this guy figure out how to slice your defense, makeshift defense up, scout team D up every week. What was that like?
Oh yeah, it was legit, man. Pinpoint accuracy, great ball placement, and the guys he had, to get the ball to, it just made it easier for him. Being able to have a run game, then work that play action with Ryder White, Justin Peele, and Michael Jenkins. It made it easy for him, man. And if it all outlets, just throw it out to Jerry Snowwood, and he gonna make something happen on the edge, man. That was a freakish, athletic dude right there, man.
I hated seeing him get those knee injuries.
Yeah,
I loved him at Mississippi State.
Lightning in the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, playing for the Falcons, I mean, I know it was a tough challenge going against those receivers, like he said, but just being in the locker room, like you said, with those guys, just talk about some of the locker room thing, because that's what a lot of people say they miss when they retire is the locker room. So it kind of gives a little preview into what the locker room atmosphere is about.
Man, the locker room was great. Like I say, you know how it is in the locker room. Your position is pretty much gonna stick together. This group gonna be with that group. It ain't too much intermingling, but it's all respect. Um, but the locker room atmosphere was great, man. Just having those older guys to show the younger guys what to do. Once practice is over, how to handle themselves. In the off season and in the city like Atlanta, because you can get lost real fast, and
Mm-hmm.
get trapped in Atlanta real fast.
Okay.
Whether it be nightlife or just turning down the wrong street. So just keeping guys on game. Hey man, hey, stay out of these areas. Hey man, you want to buy a house? Look at this area. This area got good schools. So they just gave great advice. Just on how to be a professional and just a man on and off the field. Like I say, having a veteran presence from the Lloyd Malloys to the Todd McClures. Uh, Mike Peterson came as well, man. Just having a great veteran presence, man, that really plays a huge role in the development of those younger players, as athletes and men.
Okay, well, also expound on your time, like right now. You got your Eagles behind you, your North Florida head coach. And, just talk about what you're doing right now to the listeners about how you're trying to steer your students and win championships down there in North Florida.
Yeah. Sorry, guy, my battery, probably about to die, so I'm gonna have to pick up on the phone. But yeah, man, just finished up my first fall season at North Florida Education Institute. We're currently in the spring, got a spring game tomorrow. So last year, I'm just trying to bring some consistency to the program where they've had a different coach the previous 5 years. So eliminate that turnover factor, and just try to bring some stability to the program. So when the kids see that they have somebody who's played in the league and being where they're trying to get, they're more apt to listen. But dealing with these kids these days, it takes
Mm.
longer to get through to them because a lot of kids have a sense of entitlement, don't want to work for anything. So you really got to get to understand them, their environment. Like I said, a lot of work goes into coaching, man. Just to get a kid, you really can't motivate a kid. They have to be intrinsically motivated. Like I said, you can throw all day, man, do this for the money, but they'll do it for the time being, but that's it. So they really not motivated. You got to find that really motivation factor. Man, you got to do all the assessments to find out how they communicate. So, man, it's a lot, but I enjoy it, man. It's very rewarding, gratifying when you see those guys who are very resistant to a male figure start to come around and open up, and share stuff that they have going on outside of football. Uh,
Okay.
it's very rewarding. Then you're able to grow with that player. You see them develop, and it come full circle. It's just very special. So I'm looking forward to just a great uh, progression. Going forward, I don't really put wins and losses on the season. I kind of dictated, how much progress we had. Did we get better? Are the kids learning something each day? Don't want to be complacent. Don't want to stay stagnant. So just taking that baby step, that growth approach to the season.
So, question about your, I'm just going back to it because you played for a really good coach. One of our guys on the show, Coach Brant, went to camps and he knows the Bowden family really well. I know you really don't speak too much on it, but what was it like playing for Coach Bowden, and what did you take from Coach Bowden and you're applying to your days as a head coach right now?
Coach Biden was like, I don't know how to put it to be exact, but just the guy who was he had the pedigree, the legacy, um, but he just I would say he's more like that family oriented coach, not
Mhm.
really hands on, but more bringing the right guys around him to develop a team. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some guys that head coach is that hey, we're gonna do this, this, and that. But then you also got those coaches who can bring in the right people for those positions to help elevate a team as well. So I think he was a guy that was able to bring in a great staff to support him, and help him grow as a coach. Just his detail, attention to detail, just how he views practices, just how he cared for his players. Like I say, he was a family man and just kind of carrying that same thing to those guys, just loving on the guys, letting them know you love them. A lot of those guys don't hear that too much, So they'd be like, "Oh, come on, what you talking about, coach? Like, man, you got to be secure in yourself, man. This ain't nothing funny. Like, man, I genuinely care about you as a person. So you hear me tell you I love you, man. It's real. So you got to build that relationship with them. Like I said, you got to step out the box to be uncomfortable with yourself. Do some things you never probably had to do. Like I say, be a father figure to somebody who's not your child. Buy food, give rides. Just you got to be a servant. If you're going to be a coach, you got to be a servant as well.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. Oh, cool. I'm gonna go back a little bit to your playing days in the NFL. Who was like your least favorite wide receiver you had to like just cover or just be like, oh hell, we about to just play down? I mean, just think about it. You just pick. You name. You already named just a couple, man. I know you had to probably go against Randy Moss, or you had to go against Rocket Ismail, or shit. Who was just that one guy you just could not stand? In other
Man,
words.
I'm gonna say Dallas Clark. Tight end for Indy.
Tight end for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, tight end, like I say, no gloves, just a regular Joe Smo. I remember I played in Indy, man, in 2006 or 7. I think one of the safeties got hurt, so I had to come in on a crucial third down play. And all that stuff you see on TV with Peyton is real. It's real. like he broke that huddle. He came out, he looked around, and he double take. He saw me, and I swear he checked. He told Dallas, I don't know what they said, but they came right at me. And they converted, got like 2.5 yards, man. But just to see how they work and go from TV to in person, man, it's real. And one time we played in Jacksonville, played the Patriots. And Tom, safety, man, Tom, he looked at me to look me off and threw it to the receiver. And when I came back from the huddle, he just looked at me and smiled. I'm like, these dudes really playing games out here, like just really got mind games. Like for real.
Hey man. And he play with his head, so that's how he play.
Yeah.
He got that big old skull.
very cerebral.
Hey, well, he lacked the athletic ability. We all know this about Peyton.
But he had that.
One thing that he took from his dad was his arm and his mental capability of processing the game. Right. But everybody know the best athlete in that house wasn't Peyton or Eli or even their nephew Arch. It was Arch's dad that was the best athlete in that house. They all talked about that. Unfortunately, he never got a chance to really put that on display because of that terrible disease he had. But speaking of health, now you also, because we're gonna get back to football, but I kind of want to bring this out because we also highlight health and different things, mental health, physical health, and things on the show as well. You were a spokesman for the Mayo Clinic when it came to high blood pressure a while ago. Not many people know that. Now, I see. I did my research, bro. I told you I was a cerebral safety. So if I had to play against you in school, I would have knew where your girlfriend lived. I'd have known your mama's number. I was that guy. I was like John Randall. I had to know everything about you. I was like John Randall. I had to know everything about you. But get into it though. You actually at 34 found that you had high blood pressure, and in the African American community, that is one of the biggest issues that we face in our community. And it's not just because of limited resources, it's also because it's some people that have resources to actually take better care of themselves, but we choose to not take care of ourselves with food, with mental health, and also with stress. Now, a lot of your stress came from being able to maintain your job in the NFL because it's a day-to-day grind, and one day you could be here, the next day could be a pink slip in your locker if you're not a franchise guy.
Man,
And
real talk.
it's all about that money. It's about, man, how can we save money? Just pretty much economics. Did that play into a lot of your stress level and where your blood pressure actually was at one point? And how are you doing with that journey at this point in your life?
Yeah, so my high blood pressure really genetics came from mom and dad. So excuse me, not like I say a terrible eater. Don't really use salts when I cook. So just the genetics of having that passed down was something that a little scary because you always read about silent killer, but once you get put into that category and now you run the risk of having this happen, you gotta change your course, have a different plan of action. So you gotta just like I say exercise more, eat the right foods, like I say take your medicine. Like certain medicines may not work, so you're gonna have to go through trial periods of what medication, because certain medications don't work well for African Americans. So we got to go out and keep researching what works best for us and for our specific uh, type of blood pressure or whatnot. So my wife, she actually works at Mayo, so she kind of get
She's stale,
for the program, But man, been doing better. Like I say, trying to get as much sleep as I can because my main thing was getting 4 or 5 hours sleep and still be highly functioning. It sounds good in theory, but your body's not ever fully recovering and healing itself at night. So just trying to sleep better, drink more water, just being more mindful of daily activities, what you eat, to kind of prolong your life and be here for these kids.
And that's something that I wanted to make sure I highlighted because it's fun. We get to talk about your career and we talk about everything else, but we do have serious parts of the show where we do talk about real life topics and things that go on outside of that, because you're one of the guys who came out of the NFL right before the collective bargaining and all that stuff started to get better. Because a few guys that we've had on the show, the older guys that we've had, from Haskell Standback to Dewey McClain, who's actually the player personnel rep up for the Atlanta region right now. And we've had Haskell Standback, we've had Terrence Mathis, and a lot of these guys are not, I mean, they're starting to make it right, but they weren't privy to a lot of the things that are going on when it comes to being able to take care of these veterans. Because, yeah, football players chose to play the game. That was their line of duty. That was their job. I get it. I played ball, but I'm also a military vet. And let's just be real. They treat us just like they treat y'all. They throw us to the side.
Fact.
I'm gonna keep it real with you on that. And if I piss off somebody, so be it, because I'm a disabled vet and I got a few friends of mine who are disabled vets, and I watch some of the stuff that they do at the VA, and it's I mean, it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. So when me and you and I were talking off the record about some things that we'll never discuss on here, you know what I mean? Because we have a respect for not just you, but for also your fraternity of brothers that came through the NFL and that are still going through some of these cases that are fighting the NFL for better health. So in that sense, man, it's a big thing on here, people. Y'all take care of your health, you take care of your bodies, go for your regular checkups, because a lot of football players, like Jamaal was saying, they don't get, at one point they weren't getting the type of treatment that they should have been getting, period. So,
Like
physical health and mental health is huge.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of things are kind of intertwined, man. Like, going to the dentist regularly, man. Like, your mouth is gonna, it can affect your vision, your hearing, your heart. So, like, you gotta have that full mind and body, cleansing, annual checkups, man. Like say, you gotta, if you got kids, you gotta be here for those kids, man, because nobody's gonna, treat your family like how you treat your family. So
Absolutely.
prolong that life, man. Take care of yourself, especially us men. We don't like to go to the doctor. We good. Just wait it out. But like say, a lot of those times don't turn out good later on down the line. Something
Yeah.
don't, you know, a nagging injury don't turn into something serious. Like say, man, go get it checked out. A lot of times we don't want to pay that hospital bill. Hey man, but in the long run, your life is much more than that bill.
Shoot,
No
man.
doubt.
Look, as high as funerals are nowadays, and I can speak on that because I've watched a few family members, and I just seen prices. I'm like, you know what? I'm not so anxious to go. But getting to it, I got one more question I'm gonna ask you, and then we're gonna talk about our Falcons. And we all gonna be able to chime in on this. What player talked the most trash to you that you ever went up against? Who was the
Oh,
most? Who was
good
the biggest
question.
trash talk? Because
Biggest trash.
being a fellow safety, I got to know this because I don't like receivers to this day. Still to this day, I don't like receivers. I just deal with them because they used to be on my team.
Man, I would say the biggest trash talk was my teammate Maurice Jones-Drew. man,
The
that
bowling
was
ball.
bowling
we,
ball. That was the biggest trash talker, but he can back it up though. He can back it up.
yeah, he used to be on Jack's Beach talking trash too, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave that story alone.
So he gonna let you know how he
JSO
feel.
protected him that night. I just leave it like that. We ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, we all know about Maurice talking trash.
Yeah. He
If you
lets you know
lived
how
in
he feel and what he
Jacksonville,
gonna do to you, and
yeah.
he gonna do it.
If you lived in Jacksonville and you hung out at Jack's Beach, you got to see the bowling ball walking around talking trash. That was just his thing. But that's that Bay Area coming up out of him. So I can't be mad at him. But how do you feel about the Falcons 11 personnel that they just added? Now you've been privy to see some of the things, from Rondell Moore to Mooney to Kirk Cousins, and then those were added, and then you talk about Bijan Robinson being here, but everybody forgets about me. Go ahead and add him to the stage. He had to switch over. So you had Bijan Robinson, and you got Tyler Algier, who's been carrying the load for the Falcons. And I would say Tyler is a mixture of William Andrews and Michael Turner, your old teammate, when you watch him run the ball. And this offense has the potential, if the pass protection can hold up, this offense has the potential to average maybe 35 points a game.
Yeah, I like the additions they made, man. I think Kirk Cousins is gonna be a big help in that area. Have a true decision maker. You ain't had one since Matt Ryan, so having a good decision maker. He's gonna have his times where he's gonna have some Kirk Cousins moments, but you're gonna have a lot more good and bad. And then with the additional draft of Michael Penix, man, I think that was a smart move by Raheem Morris because being able to sit behind a guy like that, he's gonna learn so much, and then once he comes in, it's gonna be that play is gonna be Jordan Love-esque. Like nobody knew what Jordan Love can do sit behind Aaron Rodgers, but everybody knows it was very beneficial with him sitting behind, instead of just question. Trust the process of what your coach got going on. I think they'll like what's going on. And man, Tyler Algier was a pleasant surprise, for the Falcons. Where they got
Very.
and that was a steal. Um,
And
I had him
remember,
on,
he played both sides of the ball at BYU. He played linebacker too.
and I had him on my fantasy team, so that's how I found out about him.
Yeah.
And he was right. He was racking up points.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, it seems like they kind of forget about him at times, but they got to keep him in that rotation.
Yeah, they definitely do because he's the guy that kind of moves those chains. That short, stocky runner with a little speed and power as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What is your prediction for the record for the season? Because we already know with you and you being a DB, you understand and Jerry Gray is a respected name in the NFL from not only his playing days but also being a coach as well, respected coach. And we have a whole new defensive coordinator with Jimmy Lake here in Atlanta. I'm just gonna be honest with you on that. He got to prove it to me, and that's just me being a defensive guy. And I trust Jerry Gray. I don't trust Jimmy Lake yet. Everybody's like, "Oh, well, trust." No, he got to earn it with me. I'm just gonna call it for what it is
Right.
because Ryan Nielsen, who was here last year, took the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league, and put him as a top 10 defense and the number 1 red zone defense in the league. So I want him to do well, but he got to earn it. I'm not getting ready to give him high praise until I see what he does in crucial situations and crucial games. I can't do that because he's not proven. But I'm trusting Raheem Morris because he's an intelligent defensive mind as well as an offensive mind because people forget that he coached on the offensive side of the ball at one point too.
Yep.
But what is your prediction for this Falcons defense with this new coach, and what do you think the record is going to be?
First of all, let's say your division is always up for grabs. So pretty much the team with the best quarterback in that division will win it, which I feel is the Falcons. Let's say you don't really have that stability in Carolina, New Orleans, or Tampa. I mean, I don't trust the situations in none of those 3 cities. So I feel that Atlanta should win a division. But there are moments where they may play well. On paper they may look, 13-4 or whatnot. But like I say, you got to play those games. So I would say a realistic prediction. I would say probably about 11-6 for the Falcons.
Okay. I was thinking 12, 12 wins. So 11-12, that's all right. That's right in the range. I like that.
No, you always have that. Those games you should have won, but you didn't. Those games you didn't.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, you played for the Falcons, so you know it's a saying that we have. I'm gonna let my guys ask you their questions. The Falcons gonna Falcon, and you've heard it being a player.
Now that you say that, when you played for the Falcons, now that you brought that up, what's the one game you remember where you said, "There's no way in hell we should have lost this game"?
Oh boy.
Challenging memory. I don't know the exact game, but I know my second year in Atlanta. Man, we had a really good team, but like I say, we missed the playoffs that year. Yeah, so those were a lot of games where we should have won, could have won. Even a few of those New Orleans games we played in New Orleans. Then we end up losing by a field goal, on that game in 2009 in New Orleans. Just games like that, man, when it come down to a field goal or like say maybe coach had to burn the timeout, on a crucial third down. Man, it'd be so much stuff that going in the game. And another thing, man, I don't see how people can think these games be rigged. Like being in these games, there ain't no way these coaches can throw the game, but it's too much at stake, to throw a game from a coach to a quarterback to a player. Man, this is your livelihood. So you're not gonna go out there and sell the game, for that. It's just, things happen, man, that just momentum, crowd get into it. Coach may not be on his game in that particular moment. Man, just so many factors and so many moving parts that go into stuff, man. It's just you just never know. So you just gotta play. Excuse me.
So you saying you gonna stop the myth? It ain't rigged. Then.
And the hell no, it can't be. Not in my eyes.
I mean, what about if the star players, there's certain players know about
it? They do a good job of hiding it.
I don't know, man. The powers that be that run this earth. You know. Because you gotta think. Vegas kind of picking them numbers too close to the vest every week.
Yeah, they done lost a lot of money because Vegas done had Cowboys to be in Super Bowl every year.
Oh man,
Tell me,
man, Jamaal, I'm gonna tell you this here, bro.
That's a good point.
And I know James is watching this, so James, I'm sorry, bro, but your Cowboys need to just go ahead and sit down. Y'all ain't gonna win that until Jerry Jones is probably retired into an old folks home, and he ain't leaving Dallas except with a closed fist and probably in his casket. He's still gonna probably have something in his will where his casket will probably be in their stadium till they win the championship.
Why
just being honest, I see that happening.
Why I gotta be an old folk home though?
Jerry Jones,
mean-
think about it. Jerry Jones, well, they have nice retirement homes for rich older people. Unless he gonna stay in the lap of luxury and have his caregiver take care of him.
That probably wasn't gonna happen. I guarantee.
It depends on how you got that set up, because you know his son trying to keep him as far away from the team as he can, but you know that ain't gonna happen.
Well, he been
I
doing
just
a
look at
horrible job of that though.
I just look at it like this. It's so many cities that have not won a championship. We're not worried about teams that have got collected trophies already. I mean, I'm not gonna share any tear if they ever win another championship. You know, they had their heyday.
I just don't like
Keep it
their
moving.
fans, bro. Like Dallas is like this. What killed me about Dallas and their fans. New Orleans fans think they suck the pretty much the NFC South version of Dallas, but I mean that's just how they act. But Dallas fans, man, they like cockroaches, bro. You turn the light on, it's a ton of them right there. When you lose, they flock on the moldy food, but when you turn the lights on, they all flee. They don't say two good words when they lose. And they'll be like, oh man, that gotta go. Yeah. You hear this every year because they were saying the same stuff about Romo, but now I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the game outside of New Orleans. That's the game that I want Atlanta to win real bad. Because I got a lot of Dallas fans in my family, unfortunately.
Me too.
Half of y'all don't suffer like I do. I got Cowboy fans and I got them stinking trash bag fans. You know, I got a few of those on that side of the family, and then I got some Steeler fans in here. So I'm catching 3 ways of hell if we lose them 3 games.
Man, I got Cowboy, 49ers, and Pittsburgh Steelers fans in my family, bro.
Hey, let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, look.
More power
Everybody
to you. I like I said, I got the Falcons going 12. I got the Falcons honestly going 12-5 or 11-6. That's what I have.
Man. Let's go, man. We ready to
Yeah, 12-5 with me as well, man. I just think, like I said last week, man, if we can go 4-0 in the first 4 weeks or 3-1, I like our chance. I like the momentum being in our favor. But I just think if we can beat the defending champion in Kansas City, how much a morale booster that would be for Raheem Morgan and the rest of the team. Be like, man, look, man, we can compete with anybody.
If you catch them early, you catch them early because Kansas City starts slow all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
They never start out the gate hot. Detroit caught them with their pants down last year.
But then again, Pat Mahomes might want to change that this year with all the new improvement that he has been blessed with.
Man, they got to worry about their legal issues right now. They got, bruh. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now you know we dog fans and we don't trash, bruh. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking like we were the year right after we won the national championship when we had all them speed violations. It seemed like week after week somebody from Kansas City getting in trouble. I don't care about that like that, but it's just week after week you just see somebody. And as I said before, that boy Rashee Rice, he just
got to be the dumbest fool on God's green earth, man.
And they already got a replacement for him.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy. That was already put in the merch.
He'll never see the field again.
Yeah, and you got Justin Cross still sitting there, waiting to emerge.
And the scary part about Worthy is this. Worthy is fast, might be small, but very, very tough. As you know what I mean? Tough as a $2 steak. That's the best way I can describe him because I watched him in games get folded.
A Devontae Smith type player.
I ain't saying Devontae Smith. I'm gonna go back one for you. I'm gonna go back one for you.
Yeah, I'm like,
your boy D Webb might be watching. He might remember this name real well. I'm gonna go Tyrone Prothro for you. So and I got Bama fans here, so they know who he is. I'm sorry, dog, but I gotta bring up Tyrone Prothro. That man was a bona fide first round pick if he wouldn't have broke his leg that day in Alabama, trying to catch that 4th touchdown pass.
I see Deshaun Jackson
in. Nah.
Deshaun's a little taller than he is. Well, actually,
he may be taller than he is. I'm just saying that's where I see the game. I didn't say the height. I just see the game. Yeah.
What's going on, Dre? Okay. So
agree.
NFL.
You know, I told you don't step on a goddamn landmine.
Well, no, it's fine. Hey, it's fine. But my thing is, it's certain guys that's gonna say it, and then there's gonna be other NFL players who don't say it. So I mean, it's kind of like You got people who like steak. You got people who like hamburgers. It's just what it is. You got two different flavors or whatnot. Some people are saying that, and then you got some folks saying otherwise. But I'm gonna take the words from a guy that's been in two different locker rooms over, just speculation. So it's what it is. But thank you for your thoughts. We definitely appreciate your efforts today. Shout out to our boy A1 Forever Chris. We definitely see you up in the building. The eye test, Big John. We see you, the Cricket Deacon. We thank you for coming through. Larry, my man Larry Dixon, the Dixon Way. Check him out. He's also came in here too, calling Atlanta Braves games. Definitely, we got to get some more wins in there.
Man, our pitching is garbage.
We ain't gonna get it. That's a whole nother show. We ain't finna do that.
Lord Hammer.
Man, subscribe. Put too much on the man. You got to bring the man some help.
For real.
I agree.
Gee.
Freed was dealing last night though. Got to give it to him. Max Freed was dealing last night. Alex Anthopoulos.
It's a lot of games. You got to get. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, trust the process, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
here's the thing. I trust the process.
We may not get in the number one seed, but once we get in there, we're gonna make noise. That's it.
I'm not saying that. What I would like to see is the Braves not have a salary cap anymore. Period. No, every other team does not have a salary cap, and the Braves are the only team that has a salary cap, and we have to operate within that with people that are running that front office that don't understand baseball outside of Alex Anthopoulos, who does understand it. Because I'll be honest with you, if we did not have a salary cap, how much you want to bet we'd have the best arms? And it's not knocking the farm system because we got great arms coming up. But how much you want to bet we'd have some of these guys that are all-stars that's getting this money coming through Atlanta to go along with our bets?
Have some of the best arms. Still have Freddie Freeman still be here too.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Freddie, yeah. But I mean, we paid Matt Olson though. So
and Olson is a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he got paid though, but what they were doing was going with the same kind of caliber player, and he was younger. He's younger than Freddie Freeman. So there you go. And he's from the city. Like Freddie Freeman really wanted to go home to LA, and then Matt Olson, he's from the Atlanta area. So it's kind of like an even swap almost. But we just drafted Freddie Freeman. So I think it was an even swap. Now what we're may have to do is, if we're working with a salary cap, we may have to give up some of our bets for some arms.
Yeah,
we should have did that a long time.
That's the only thing we're not gonna be stubborn on. But I'll say this though, because we got we still got that kid that's coming up from University of Florida. It seems like Atlanta got a thing for damn Gators. I don't understand it. We drafted the number one pitcher overall. Now he a problem. Now he nice with it, but we drafted him. We drafted Kyle Pitts.
I mean, these guys.
A few years before that, we drafted Keanu O'Neal.
These guys
again,
are not far away.
The love affair for these. This is what I don't understand. You got a love affair for these jokers. That's a whole nother state over. I'm sorry, that's 6 hours away. That's far enough.
But we can't get nobody out of Georgia.
Yeah, that's something I never understand. We can't get nobody in our own backyard.
But Philly can.
They slowly coming in.
Well, we did get Zion Logan. Zion Logan is gonna be a problem. Now I'm gonna throw a little shot out here for these Florida State fans. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking reckless against us Georgia fans. Now we ain't said nothing about y'all, but I got to correct this right here on the spot tonight, or as Bernie Mac would say, tonight. So I'll say this: Eddie Goldman is a product of Florida State, ladies and gentlemen. He's bowed out on us 2 times. 2 times. Let's see if he can actually make it to the season because he's in the preseason. I'm happy to see him. He earning his paycheck. But can this man make it to the season without saying, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and retire on y'all again?
I think
we went through that 2 years in a row.
Get cut. I think he's just gonna get cut. He's gonna be a camp body. That's just my opinion.
Zion Logan's replacement.
Man, for Florida State fan, 53-3. Shut up. I'm done.
Hey, even though we were playing their JV team, just be real, we were playing their JV team, but
and we had walk-on coming on there still going.
Very true.
I mean, the key
Hey,
thing is,
I was trying to give him a little mercy, but
I'm
it's
not.
no
giving him
mercy.
no, I ain't giving him
Cry
no
me a
mercy.
river.
Guess what?
I do not care.
Why would you not want to represent your school in the best possible way, even if you did feel like you got foo out
Yeah,
of a national championship picture?
don't
Go
talk
out and
about it. Be
represent.
about it.
And as a
So
competitor, I
you
want to
trying to
ask
tell
Jamaal
me
this.
you trying to tell me University of Georgia wasn't upset? We went in it had a shot. No, we still went out and
Exactly.
played.
We the defending champion. We ain't get in.
So
So
Jamaal, I
hey,
got a
it is.
question for you. We're gonna wrap it up with this question because I done stepped on the landmine now.
Oh, I got hot there.
I stepped on the landmine because you see he got hot real quick. But so Jamaal,
the Lou just
with
look.
your playing days, if Clemson would have been in that same spot as Florida State, they got snubbed. Y'all got snubbed out of a championship or getting to the playoffs. Would you have opted out, got ready for the draft, or would you been like, nah, man, I gotta go ahead. Let me go ahead and finish this out. And I'm getting ready to make some noise. This was the defending national champ, and we know they're gonna be pissed and they're gonna give us our best game. So I'm gonna go. Are you gonna go ahead and play, or are you gonna go ahead and opt out and get ready for this draft like most of those guys at Florida State did?
I'm playing. It's a prove a point moment.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
Respect.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Hey man, I'm lacing up. Hey, you got like say defending champ. They got snubbed, so they finna bring. They trying to embarrass y'all. All right.
yeah, it's the snub bowl. It's the snub bowl. We going in it.
I'm going out there. I'm going out fight. I might get beat, baby. I'm about to get my licks in.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. You say, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna say it like the old folks say it. You know, you ain't got to like it, you ain't got to love it, but you about to take this ass whipping one way or another. It's up to you.
And they took
So
it.
either way, they should have just went on ahead and known they was gonna take a good old fashioned ass whipping because everybody's like, oh well, Florida State would have did this if Jordan Travis was there. Here's my thing: if you develop players and you load up a team, there should be no drop off with your backups at all. If you develop those guys, but mainly their whole team was practically made up of portal guys. Nobody was homegrown, and nobody was really, really developed like that. Jordan Travis was, but majority of their playmakers, man, they weren't homegrown guys. They were all from different universities, and there's nothing wrong with the transfer portal, but I guess I'm too much of a competitor. I'm going out on my shield. I'm with you on that one, bro.
Definitely.
So next week we definitely got some things coming to the show. We want to thank our special guest, Mr. Jamaal Fudge, Mr. Duval County himself, Mr. Legendary football player from Ed White High School. Let folks know about your school, what you guys got going on tomorrow night before we wrap this thing up. You guys got your jamboree for tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, so North Florida Educational Institute, also known as NFEI, we'll be playing our spring game down in New Smyrna Beach, New Smyrna High School, Crescent City High School, Florida. Games at 5:30, man. Just looking forward to see what these kids can do, man. So our seniors are gone. Now it's our juniors' time. Our younger guys' time to step up, to be in that spotlight. I told them every time, on Friday nights, every time that camera comes on, man, the film don't lie. You interviewing, every time you step on that field. So put the best game film out there because the film is not gonna lie. If you're a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star, the film is gonna show me, what type of player you are. So you can't lie to me. You can't lie to that film. So work hard. Instead of guys, put the best effort forward. Man.
Definitely appreciate you, my brother. We definitely will have you back during the season when things slow down for you. Well, now we might bring you back for Hate Week for the Saints. So, we got to bring some old Falcons through, man. I'm working on a little something right now. Might have a couple of y'all might have played in different generations, but that hate still runs the same. So thank you for coming through tonight, Jamaal.
I appreciate
you, man. Good luck to you, man. Good luck.
Yes,
good luck tomorrow.
Good luck. Good luck next season coming up, man.
Yes, sir. So we want to give a special thanks to our guy Jamaal Fudge for coming through, man. We appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Want to thank K Dub for coming through, Graybeard for coming through. You guys always knock it out the park, man. Just want to tell you I appreciate you guys and thank y'all for y'all hard work tonight. And everybody behind the scenes that folks don't know, I want to thank those guys too for their hard work as well, because it don't go unnoticed, man. This BirdCage is all family and it's all love. So thank you guys for coming through.
Already.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another episode of the BirdCage LLC tonight. We have some things coming up next week. We're going to talk a little bit about the Falcons next week, just pretty much the defense and just some things that's going on right now with the organization and how in the heck, how people are feeling about not being able to go to training camp this year. So, without further ado, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and hit this outro. I got to go get me some dinner. I'm hungry. So, we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. You either get right or you get left. It's the BirdCage. We out.